I didn't do fucking shit.
Oh, yes. That was awesome last night. What's up? It's the Huff. What was awesome, it wasn't a sporting event. It was Tuesday night, although the Avs did come back being down 4-0 to win 5-4. That was awesome. The Nuggets beat the Warriors, but I don't give a shit about that. I'm talking about the fact that I didn't do shit at a school event last night because I couldn't fucking talk. I helped my wife out by showing up, and if all needs be, I can use my voice when needed, but otherwise I was on vocal rest for the majority of yesterday trying to, save my voice. But what was funny is I didn't have a sign to tell anybody. So there'd be people coming up to me. They're like, hey, how's it going? And thankfully my wife was right there. So they'd be looking at both of us. And I didn't say a fucking word. I was just like, don't say nothing. And my wife did all the talking. And let's say out of about 5 or 6 people, only one person I was able to communicate that I lost my voice. So all these other people, like administrators and stuff like that, they just think I'm just some mute dick. They knew I was a dick before, but the fact that I wasn't speaking, they're like, what an asshole. Gosh, everybody was talking about how the Huff is a jerk, and now the fact that he didn't even say a word to me, big time butthole. Right? It was funny. So I'm just sitting there. One guy, Eric, I was able to communicate, be like, I lost my voice. I can't speak. Sometimes when my voice is strained like this, the only way I can actually speak is in silly voices. So if I go like this, hey guys, what's up? Hi, my name's Carlos, and I'm going to have some fun today, especially you in the corner, you little sinner. Let's go. I can't do that at a school event. They're making gingerbread houses. What the fuck? They're like, wow, that's so-and-so's dad. He's very flamboyant. Like, who needs some more pastries? What is that? Some more icing. Let's get in an icing fight, fellas. No, I can't. Can't do that. Because it's just whatever pops in my head. I could have been like Cowboy the Huff and shit, man. This feels pretty comfortable on my vocal cords for whatever fucking reason. Don't worry, I ain't going to do the whole show this way because that wouldn't be all balls. But I will tell you what, I am taking a gander at my little package down there. Shit, man, my balls are huge today. What the fuck? Hopefully you can say that, even you ladies. Are you having an all balls day? Oh, man, like I thought I was doing well until I, opened my mouth. Thought I was doing well. We'll get through this. Don't worry. I got plenty of great shit to get into. Thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Big thanks to Game Time PDR as well as Bet Online. In fact, Bet Online continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football and NBA, college basketball, NHL to UFC, head to betonline.ag today to get in on all the action. And don't forget to use promo code BLEAV, that's BLEAV, for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, the game starts here. And speaking of starting, my voice, oh, there we go. That worked. That right. It kicked it into gear. Let's head into some headlines.
Let's go!
And now, here are the headlines. It irritates me that I said head into headlines instead of get into headlines. Sorry, that's just weird shit. I remember that happening with, real quick side note, Scott Hastings, Alfred Williams. I'm on the air with them, and I'm doing something similar. They're asking me about something, and I didn't want to repeat the word. So I paused, and that just irritated the shit out of Alfred. He's all, why don't you say anything, Duff? It was like 3 seconds. I was like, I didn't want to say your or whatever it was again because I already used it. They're like, you're so stupid. You're stupid. Anyway, this is awesome. This is straight from a fucking movie. An officer used a child's bicycle while chasing down a felony suspect. That's the shit you see in a movie. I need to commandeer your vehicle. What? Are you fucking serious? This is awesome. No, you can't.
Excuse me, sir. This is official police business. I would like to commandeer this vehicle.
No.
But instead, he took a kid's bike. It's not like he pushed the kid down, be like, hey, you little shit, give me the bike. It would have been hilarious if all he had access to was a fucking tricycle. I'll get you yet, you son of a bitch. I guess the suspect jumped on a scooter. I don't know if it was an e-scooter or what, but the police officer was like hopping over fences and stuff trying to pursue him. There's video footage from his body cam. This is down in Lone Tree, by the way, Lone Tree, Colorado. And all of a sudden he's just like, fuck it. My car is way back there. I can't, it'd be bad of me to go. I need to go get my car. Hold on, please. Instead, he's like, here's this like BMX bike. I'm going to hop on that. And then he took after, went after. And what's funny is in the body cam footage that was released, they mixed in doorbell camera of the criminal getting away on the scooter. And then all of a sudden you see the guy on the police officer on the bicycle going by, going, did he go that way? Something like that. It's just so funny. So funny. This is what the police department said. To keep up with the fleeing suspect, the department said the police officer Tar, commandeered a kid's bike to continue the pursuit. My voice cracked. Holy shit, sorry. I'm going through puberty. It's a real tough time for me. The suspect might have had a scooter, but Officer Tar had determination and a kid's bike. That's according to the Lone Tree Police Department. I played that soundbite from So I Married an Axe Murderer, but I feel like that I don't know what I would do if a police officer came up to me, was just like, I need to commandeer your vehicle. I might do what the guy did in the movie.
Excuse me, sir. This is official police business. I would like to commandeer this vehicle.
No. I mean, they don't have to give you the vehicle, right? I know in some movies and some TV shows, they're like, I'm commandeering this. Get the fuck out. But I don't think I have to. I know I got a lot of police officers that listen. Let me know. We can follow up. But I feel like, nah, I don't have to. That in this day and age, I just don't trust anybody. Be like, are you really a police officer? Bullshit. Show me your badge. Okay, that doesn't look real. I've seen enough CSI and all those other shows. I can't remember. What are the other shows? Hold on, officer. If that's what you are. Oh, Law and Order. That's right. Ding, 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 ding. I don't think you're a police officer. You don't look like Ice Cube. It's not Ice Cube, Mom. It's Ice T. Oh, Ice T. You know who else good Ice T, sir? Hold on. I know you want this vehicle. Wendy's. Wendy's surprisingly has some good iced tea. No, I don't think I would trust anybody, even if it was. Unless I say that, but I don't think they're going to want to hop in my 2016 Honda Accord. Another question I have, if the police department commandeers my vehicle and they damage it in any way, they're fucking paying for it, right? They're paying for the rental car. They're paying for everything. Because if not, and God, you know that there's going to be a bunch of fucking red tape that you're going to have to go through in order to get your vehicle back. I want to know, has anybody had their vehicle commandeered by an officer of the law? That would be fucking weird. I mean, yeah, God, be like, no, don't you scratch it. Just so you know, it gets a little wobbly once you get over 40. Just FYI, try to keep it below that and you'll be good. Okay. That'd just be bizarre. Sorry, it's just a weird thing. Good job on the officer. He didn't make the arrest, but one of his fellow officers did, and they got the guy, I guess. And I believe they arrested the guy for thievery. The irony is they stole a little kid's bike to help catch him. Miller High Life is making a cologne that they say smells like a dive bar, because that's what I want to fucking smell like. Vomit, just stale nuts, and nasty ass beer. That sounds great. Why would you want that? Ugh.
Smells like Bigfoot's dick.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. They said, by the way, it does smell like some food and just kind of it does have some like, oaky smells in there. But honestly, who wants to smell like a fucking dive bar? Again, these are one of those gimmicky colognes that you buy for a stocking stuffer. Although I want to say it's like right around $40 for a bottle. No. Who wants to smell like bad decisions? Oh, I do. That'd be great. No. You guys want to know what it smells like when I actually knocked up your baby mama? It's like this. Now go play some George Strait. I just taking a trip down memory lane as I sit by myself in the corner of the room smoking a cigarette. Yeah, because cigarettes are going to be part of that smell. Be sitting in the corner of the room smoking a cigarette, drinking my Miller High Life. Ugh, gross. That's so nasty. Just because you have the ability and the finances to make a cologne doesn't mean you should. Remember when Elon Musk was like, I'm going to make a cologne that smells like burnt hair. I'm a nerd. I'm sure he sold a decent amount of them. I'm sure he did. Because people are like, I want to buy this obscure cologne that smells like I just lit my fucking face on fire while trying to light the barbecue. That's what that would smell like. This one is just like, yeah, when you say bad decisions, I can't imagine that you walk into a room all covered in this Miller High Life, cologne that people are going to go, that smells inviting. Wow. And then like ladies or whoever you're attracted to is like, I want his dick so bad because he smells so good. Nobody's doing that. Huh? No. That being said, I kind of want to smell it just to see. If somebody has a collection of bad colognes, this needs to go in your fucking collection, right? You got burnt hair. You got, what was the other one we did the other day that I can't remember what it is. There's some for fucking dogs. Smells like dog's ass, like for other dogs, stuff like that. So, you get the collection of these things, and then people come over. Y'all get high or drunk, and then you just start putting them on. Then you wake up the next morning and be like, why do you smell like a prostitute's cock? What kind of prostitutes do you hang out with? Huh? The new cologne by Scott DeHuff. DeHuff Uncensored endorsed. It's called Glory Hole. I don't want to go into any further. You message me. You message me what that would smell like. What does the glory hole smell like? Oh, God. I don't know. Cheap lipstick, Listerine, and Altoids. I don't know. Anyway. A mother says her daughter, this one drives me nuts. A mother says her daughter accessed a porn website through a link on the packaging of the Wicked doll, and she saw photographs that caused emotional damage. Remember we talked about that where Wicked accidentally put Wicked.com on the packaging on the back of the Mattel doll, and apparently it should have said Wicked the movie because Wicked.com is a porn site. Here's what bugs me about this lawsuit. By the way, they're looking for big time damages in this. I can't remember what it is. It's like $6 million, $5 million for anyone who was affected by this. Have you been affected by Wicked.com? And you have to explain to kids what birds and bees are. God, $5 million. That's so fucking dumb. Here's what I discussed last time is when you go to that website, there's a giant fucking paywall. Like a lot of porn sites that I've heard about, and I hear from the buddies around the neighborhood that there are porn sites, and when you click on them, all you have to say is you're 18 or older, and they show you boobies and vagina. No, I've been to plenty of. Let's be honest. I've been to my share of porn sites. Here's what happens when you go to this website. They're fully clothed. There's not one fucking nipple. I clicked on all the links. I did this morning for show prep, okay? God damn it, it's for show prep. There's barely any side boob. Everybody's fully dressed. There's no cock. There's no ass. Like I see worse shit on Sports Illustrated's website and what all these other websites out there. I see worse shit on, in the Sears catalog growing up. Oh, it got me through, man. That's before the internet. And what happens is there's a drop down menu. You click on, because I'm like trying to figure out, what did this girl click on? Maybe there is like a subcategory where you're like, sweet, jackpot, titties. No. I even clicked on photos thinking that there was going to be something there. No, there's not. You click on it and it takes you to the paywall. If you want to see this shit, you got to click on it. You got to pay. You got to add your credit card information. That's it. Fuck that. Listen, I get that Mattel fucked up. They didn't fuck up that bad. Not $5 million worth. Fuck off. That's a money grab. Bullshit. Now, Mattel isn't making any comments about this, nor should they, because this is ridiculous. I get it. They fucked up. But when you go to that website, you'll see what I'm saying. Do it at work. Go ahead. Go to wicked.com on your work computer. You might get fired. Just FYI, putting that out there. Okay? Get your boss's company credit card. Then you can see what they got going on. But otherwise, when you go to wicked.com, there ain't shit for you to see. Unless I missed it. But I'm like clicking on the drop-down menu. I'm clicking on everything, and everything takes you to the paywall. So I say bullshit on this lady's lawsuit. Maybe you have the most sensitive fucking child in the world created by you. Maybe that's the case. Like, if my kid got on to wicked.com and it was, places traded, I'm the parent. And I'm like, oh my God, he went to this website. I would then investigate thoroughly, of course. And then I'd go, oh, no, you're fine. Okay. That's it. Listen, as somebody that went to it and as somebody that is protective of my children, don't just let them go willy-nilly surf the internet. No, we check that shit. We check their browser history. We warn them on everything. And so does their school. They're very good about that shit. Okay? But I would not be upset about that. They didn't see anything. The ladies are fully clothed. Shut the fuck up. You are just trying to steal money from Mattel, which isn't really that surprising. Like if I'm the judge and I'm sitting there listening to this lady's grief, and she's like, oh, my kid's damaged because of it.
You're a liar. You're a liar.
That's what the judge would say. Fuck you. You're a liar, you little bitch. There ain't no nipples. I don't see no side titty. Nothing. Not even some hairy balls. You're done. You're the case dismissed. Mattel just cheers. Yay. Wicked.com. I guess Wicked.com's website traffic went through the fucking roof. I've never heard of Wicked.com. I still think it's weird that people pay for porn. I don't get it. It's kind of like OnlyFans. I don't understand it. Why would you pay for that? Especially as more and more of these people get popular, these influencers that are on OnlyFans, that they have less time to be able to do one-on-one, so it's pretty generic. I don't understand it, right? Because I know not all the OnlyFans models do the nudity or diddle themselves, but the ones that make a shit ton of money do. And I go back to it. I'll do it. I'll just wear a mask. You guys will never know. If you guys could start sending me masks to wear, I'll just alternate through them. It'll be our little secret that I'm playing with my ding dong in front of a camera, making some fat cash. If I show up on this podcast wearing diamond rings, gold chains, fuzzy hat, whatever, it's because I got an OnlyFans account and I'm doing well. I am doing well. Touch my wiener. I got like sparkly sunglasses, the fuzzy hat, furry coat. Every finger has like a big gaudy fucking ring on it. Got like neon signs behind me. I forget to change out the background. It says the diddle area, something like that. I don't know. A diddle room. Go to the diddle room. Ooh, you have to pay extra for that. Ooh, boy, this guy's good. Look at him diddle that thing. Anyway, again, a reminder: don't play this on the loudspeaker. Just use your headphones. Unless you're into that kind of thing, you slut. You slut. um, this is. I don't know how I feel about this one. I'm a huge fan of pie. I love pies. I have convinced my family that for my birthday, I don't want much. I just want a pie, not a cake. Although there's some good cakes out there. I love that German chocolate cake? That's really fucking good. But the majority of the time, I prefer a chocolate like mousse cake, or excuse me, chocolate mousse pie type of thing. I don't know if that's what it's called. Or pumpkin pie, which we have upstairs. Oh shit. The kids better hop on that shit today before, because it should have been ate up like 2 days ago. So if they don't eat any today, my wife and I are devouring that once they go to bed. You're like, you snooze, you fucking lose. Okay. It's been right there. All you have to do is ask, Dad, can we have some pie? Be like, sure, absolutely. But they haven't said anything. So I'm going to eat that. I love pumpkin pie. I love cherry pie, and then the chocolate pie, whatever. But anyway, the reason I bring that up, so that's what I get for my birthday. Authorities in the UK recently recovered a stolen van filled with 2,500 pies in what was a heist gone wrong, a food heist. Let's steal some food, pies. I love me some pie. Like we did that story the other day about people stealing cheddar or this high-end cheddar cheese, which there's a market for that. Like high-end cheddar cheese is supposed to be legit. I've never had high-end cheddar cheese, and I almost just spilled my open container of water all over my audio board. Oh my God. If you're an audio engineer, you probably just got mad at me. Okay. Sorry. If you've ever been in radio, real quick side note, we'll get back to the stolen pies, I promise. If you've ever been in radio or even television, the number one rule is don't have open containers near an audio board, because that shit gets on there, especially the older ones. The older ones will fucking short out. Some of the newer ones are designed where that you can get them wet. I know the radio station I used to work for, 104.3 The Fan, they got upgraded audio boards. I want to say they're Wheatstone is the name of the company. Really good brand. And those can actually run. The way they're designed is you could get them wet. Like you could pee on them. I don't know why you would. Your last day, I guess. And they'd still function. I had a guy, again, I swear to God, we're going to get back to the pie story. We will. I had a guy when I first got into radio, a guy named Skeeter. He was telling me a story because like the boards we had back then were like really old, but they were really kind of durable. But some of the faders, the slides that allow the volume, were a little stiff. And he was telling me, he's like, dude, I have spilled soda on this thing. He threw up twice on the board. I was like, who throws up more than once on an audio board? But that thing kept running. And then some of the faders they had to switch out because they got shorted out because of people like that. But anyway, I almost did that to my board. I can't afford to buy a new one, but there's some good ones out there that I got my eyes on. Road. Anyway, back to the pies. Yeah, good times. Somebody stole a bunch of pies from this van, or the van that had a bunch of pies. The value of the pies was estimated to be $32,000 US. I believe that's 25,000 pounds. Okay. The food items were owned by a guy named Tommy Banks, a restaurateur who owns 2 Michelin-starred establishments. So these are like legit pies. These ain't the shit that you're making from, Betty Crocker that you got at King Soopers or whatever. The vehicle was filled with steak and ale pies, as well as turkey and butternut variety. So it was supposed to go to the Christmas market in York. The pies were left in the stolen van, according to Banks, but were too damaged by the time they retrieved the van. There was too damaged to be eaten or sold. Oh, that sucks. This is what he said. Remember, he's British. Oi, it's just too much waste. It's just rubbish. Sorry, It's not a happy ending to this story. I'd be pissed, though. That's a lot of fucking money and a lot of high-end food. You can't even donate that shit. Or you can't get, like, fucking blazed and just try to hammer your way through with some of your friends. You're like, guys, this stuff's like borderline iffy. If we should be eating it, but let's go smoke a bunch of weed, eat some edibles, and do our best. Let's do our best, right? That's all we can ask for. Everybody's hand in on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. That sucks. I don't know if I did that story before, but it was making the rounds, and it sounds like it's new, but I feel like we've done similar stories on this. Like, we had that cheese one, like I said, but that sucks. That's a lot of wasted food, and it sounds like it would have been good food. And the fact that you can't even eat it, it's one thing to sell it. You guys know the difference, though, but, like, there's regulations. Oh, this says it's expired. You can still fucking eat it. It's like milk expires. You just do the smell test. The milk could say it expired December 1st, but it could be December 10th. And if it smells good, you're still going to fucking drink it, right? Right. And then just watch your gut. Be like, oh, God, I'm starting to get all farty. Getting a little bloated here. Maybe I shouldn't have drank that milk. It was like 10 days past. Yeah, no shit. I shouldn't have ate that steak that I found in the supermarket trash can. I thought it was good. I know it was brown and all, but gross. Hey, listen up, Denver. Remember this name, Game Time PDR. I know some of you got hit by those crazy hailstorms back in May. I did. And some of you haven't had time, for one reason or another, to get them repaired. And part of that reason, it can be that you're trying to find the right place to take your vehicle, somebody that's trustworthy, someone you can rely on to do a good freaking job. That's okay. I get it. But you found it, because I'm telling you, the trustworthy shop, the place that you can rely on to do a good job on your precious vehicle, that's Game Time PDR. And they're Denver. They're locally owned. Women ran. I know. Aisha, you freaking rock. Aisha and Anthony and crew just do freaking amazing work over there. And they're going to take care of your vehicle. And they're such good people. And that's what really drew me to them. They specialize in paintless dent repair, which saves the integrity of your vehicle and restores the value back into your vehicle. When I was over there talking to Anthony, that's what he was saying. It's funny because he's not like trying to sell me anything. He's just talking to me about like what he does. And he's just like, by the way, he's like, I was like interested because I hadn't seen it before. And he was just like showing me how they do it. And he's like, we do it this way because that way it doesn't damage your vehicle. Whereas other companies will do it this way. And they're damaging the integrity of the vehicle. And he's like, we don't do that. We want to make sure that your resale value, if you decide to sell it, is in good standing and blah 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 blah. Nerd talk, basically. But they love it, and they love helping the customer to get those dents repaired in a great way. Like I said, they specialize in paintless dent repair, which saves the integrity of your vehicle. To celebrate the end of the hail season and those procrastinators out there, they're offering a $200 gift card just to get your vehicle fixed. That's really good considering we're coming up on the holiday season. You might want to jump on this. Game Time PDR has an expert claims specialist on staff to take the hassle out of dealing with insurance claims and makes it a seamless process. Game Time PDR is going to pay your deductible up to $1,000, but they need to see your vehicle in order to qualify. They're able to pay your deductible because they work and advocate for their customers first before the insurance company. Game Time PDR's expertise and experience are unmatched. They have over 30 years of experience in the industry, and they have some of the best technicians in the world. Go ahead, call Anthony right now, 303-955-8200. Again, 303-955-8200, and you can schedule that evaluation. It's Game Time PDR, the MVP in dent repair. One of the big trending things going on right now for people like me, people that create content, especially podcasts, is Spotify Wrapped. And I feel bad because I don't promote Spotify as much as I should. I promote mostly the video side of things, and I know I should kind of do both. I need to be better at that. But what happens is every year around this time, Spotify notifies the creators as well as the consumers of podcasts and digital forms on their platform. What is their most consumed episodes, what's your most popular, what's it called, shows that you listen to. And then for me, it's telling me like, here's your top episode. You saw this increase this year. Only a few years ago, I was like top 5% in global downloads, which is pretty fucking awesome. And that's where I'm ashamed of myself that I don't promote Spotify enough. Because then I'd pop back up there. But the problem I have with this is I'm doing well on all platforms for the most part. Like YouTube's starting to bounce up. I got I just in the past week just jumped up over 1,000 more followers on there, which is great. And there's just a lot of ways to consume, so I don't always focus on one way to listen because I know you guys have so many different options and you have your more preferred methods. A lot of people listen to me on TikTok. Some people listen to me on X or Twitter, whatever, Facebook, etc., or they just listen on audio, podcast platforms. Anyway, so what was interesting is I'm going through it, and like my listeners increased on Spotify by like 44% or something like that from last year, and it's telling me that like the most popular episode. This is funny. I didn't realize it, and it happened, God, like a while ago, near the beginning of the year. I forgot about it. My good buddy, my top episode. What do you think my top episode was? It was an interview. Interviews. I don't do a lot of interviews, but this one was a lot of fun. It's Mike Evans of 104.3. A hilarious episode. It's just him and I going down memory lane, talking about different videos we did, different random interactions. Plus, we talked about some random headlines that I dug up, which is always hard to do, by the way. When I know, like, Hastings wants to come back on. There was somebody else that was just like, yeah, I want to come on. I want to be like Cecil Lammy wants to. I need to. Cecil's a good guy, and he's very creative, and I need to get him on because he's fascinating. He's not just a football guy. He's an artist. He has his own comic book now, which is I need to pick his brain and talk to him about that. But I don't do a lot of interviews, and the reason is part of the time it's one thing to interview them, but sometimes people get a little tight on interviews, regardless of how much you know them. But like when you try to interact and do your normal show with them, like they're a special guest host, which I kind of like that idea. But sometimes these guys that I'm friends with, they're used to a more structured type vibe, and they're also still afraid to piss off their companies, which I get. Like Hastings, I love Hastings, but part of me worries that if I get him on, I don't want the Nuggets to get mad at him because he's the color commentator, and I would hate for him to lose his job because he says something inappropriate, or I say something inappropriate, and they associate him with that, blah, blah, blah. Then he gets fired. Then I feel bad. Not that bad. Let's be honest. Come on, man. Just kidding. I'm kidding, Scotty. So I don't want to be that guy. I know Alfred wants to come on once he gets the green light to be able to do media. But since he got shit canned from iHeart, he's got to tiptoe around that shit and make sure that he doesn't break any sort of non-compete type of stuff. So we'll see. But the thing is like sometimes when you're going like with Mike, I was asking him some stuff, like some things. He did a pretty good job of reacting to some headlines and stuff like that. But the way my brain works too, I'm not used to interacting with people. I've been doing this show now for about almost 4 years. 4 years coming up in April. Seems a lot longer, seems a lot shorter. But what's funny is like my brain can bounce from one thing to another, and I don't have to wait for somebody. I can just, I say something, and then I'm thinking, I'll just go down this path real quick. I'll do this. But if I have somebody with me, sometimes they can derail something funny I was going to say. But then they could also bring in greatness. So it sucks. I'm not comfortable doing it. Okay. Like if I got Peyton Manning on, I could talk to Stokely and get his best friend Peyton Manning on. And then maybe I'll get Stokely on. I don't know. But if I did that, I don't know how funny it would be. But I guess that's part of me just being like I still have anxiety issues and shit like that. So fuck off. Okay. Don't you goddamn judge me. I'll get what I'll try to do is I'll try to just like, ambush Peyton somehow. And like, he's like, I'll stalk him. Okay. Stalk him in a parking lot and then just be like, hey, can you be on my show right now? Let's do 5 minutes, real quick. 5 minutes, walk and talk. Could you please? Could you please? He's like, man, I'm trying to go to the bathroom. That's not even a good Peyton Manning. I got to be honest. Not a good. Did I ever tell you guys real quick? Side note, and congratulations to Mike Evans. Congratulations. You made it big today. You did. You did. When Peyton Manning first got signed by the Denver Broncos, the radio station sent me to Dove Valley, where the Broncos facility is. Can you go down there and see if you can get some pictures or anything of Peyton Manning? I'm like, sure, absolutely. This is great. So I show up to the parking lot, and there's a bunch of media there. Not a lot. Not as much as you would think. I want to say maybe there was like maybe 10 at the most. And Peyton's there. He doesn't know where to park. He doesn't know where the player parking is. He's in the media parking. So we're like, oh shit, he's in the wrong spot. And poor Peyton is sitting in his car, windows rolled up, somewhat tinted, and he's like on the phone with probably Patrick Smythe of the Denver Broncos. He's head of PR. He makes everything run, and they got a great PR staff over there. And he's probably on the phone with them trying to go, where the fuck do I go? I got a bunch of media members like, looking at me. So I take a couple pictures of that. And then he finally gets told where to go. He leaves the parking lot and he drives around to where the player parking is. He goes in there, parks, and I have one of the first pictures of Peyton Manning going to Dove Valley after being signed. It's I have it somewhere on my Facebook page. I'll see if I can dig it up and put it on the video here. But it was really a cool moment. I'm like one of the first, and it's him walking into Dove Valley. It was really neat. But I was, for a moment, a stalker. I was a stalker, going back to my original comment. Like, it was just me, I got to be honest, I felt kind of dirty about it. I don't know how people with TMZ do that shit, where they're just constantly harassing celebrities and getting miscellaneous comments. I didn't say anything to Peyton. And I couldn't think of anything. I froze up like Sean Keeler at a CU press conference. Didn't know what the fuck to say. So, sorry, Sean. It was just low-hanging fruit, bro. So it was wild. It was my one and only time to be a paparazzi. Did not like it one bit. But one day I'll try to get him on, even if it's for a brief moment. But he seems like he'd be a good dude. And the fact that he's friends with Stokely, and I'm friendly with Stokely, it's not like we're best buds. It's not like he invites me to go anywhere or come over to his house and be like, hey, man, I'm making some red peppers. You want to come over? Like, oh, my goodness, that sounds great. I'm hotter than a red pepper right now. Woo-hoo! I'm excited. Is your best friend Peyton Manning going to be there? That's my horrible impression of Brandon Stokely that has a Cajun accent. It's not Cajun. It's not Cajun at all. Anyway, congratulations to Mike Evans. I wish it would give me like my top 10 episodes, but I know that what was interesting is it tells me that people that listen to my podcast on Spotify tell me that those people listen to Altitude Radio, which is pretty cool. And their podcasts, like Mosier, Lombardi, and Kane, is like the first one. Then there's, what is it? Is it Columbus, Hastings, and DMAC? I don't know the name of the show. I just know the guys. And then Kill You with Truth. That's DMAC's podcast. And there was like one other one. Andy Lindahl and his co-host, and I can't remember, and I feel bad. I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry. But it's kind of cool. It was all I thought when I would look at that it would be 104.3 The Fan, but no, it's Altitude, which is great. They're a great station. They've grinded, and now they've become dominant in the market. So congratulations to them. I'm very excited and happy. Like, I was talking to Mosier the other day because I was listening to him because he said something inappropriate that nobody jumped on. And I'm like, you just said that you're it was like basically a sex joke, but he didn't mean it that way. I was like, oh my God, somebody needs to save that sound bite and make it a promo. It's like, you're a giver, not a taker, but it was just like, it was a little bit more detailed like that. And I'm like, oh my God. I'd make that your ringtone. Like every time Mosher calls me, it's going to be like, I like to give better than to, I hate taking. I hate biting pillows. He didn't say that, but that would be funny. But yeah, I think it's neat to see that stuff. And the fact that I've increased listeners is great. I love you guys that listen. But I kind of tend to focus on the video part of it. But I do appreciate you guys that listen as well. You know what we need to do? I don't have any sports today, but I do have the mailbag.
Mailbag. You've got mail.
This comes in from Greg. He says, DeHuff, I've heard you talk about some of the worst famous people you've met, like Rob Schneider. But who are some of the best? That's a good question. I know I've discussed this before, but I'll rifle through them real quick. This is like a, what would this be? A name drop segment. That's what this is. John Lovitz is one of my favorite people that I've ever met as far as a big name celebrity, because we had him in studio at the time. It was the morning show. Mike Evans and Nate Lundy were part of the fan morning show. And we used to do a segment, especially around the holidays, called Acting. It's something that I came up with. I'm very proud of, where I would give the hosts a scene from a famous movie. They would act it out, and you as the listener would have to call in when we gave the cue to call to guess the name of the movie. If you got it right, you won a prize. It was pretty cool. It was fun. So knowing, and part of the open, or what would happen is after the guys would do the scene, they would always go, acting, blah, 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 right? A nod to John Lovitz, who used to do that, essentially that he was there was a bit that he would do on SNL when he was on SNL where he would always go, it's acting, blah, blah, blah. I'm John Lovitz. And you just drank that in. Something like that. It was just funny. Like, he was always good. But he came in studio one day, and I asked him, or I think Mike Evans asked him, he's like, we do this bit. Could we do a scene from one of your movies, A League of Their Own, and you act, we'll play blah, 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 blah. You know, it was just between, it was actually Mike Evans and John Lovitz that did the scene. Really fucking cool. And he's like, absolutely. So I gave him the script, highlighted it for him, and it was him and Mike. And I wish I had the audio available. I had to dig that up because it was fucking awesome. And it sounded like he was back in that barn doing the thing where he was proposing a deal to one of the ladies, and she says something, and he's like, well, that would be more now, wouldn't it? And he did great. And at the end he goes, acting, fools, you thought I was Nate, but it was me the whole time. It was great. It was so fucking cool. I will forever put John Lovitz on a pedestal because he is so fucking cool that he did that. Okay? You can love him or hate him for what he believes off, if he's politically against what you're against or whatever. Fuck that. I don't care. He was a good fucking man, a good dude that was in studio, and I'll forever have his back. That was fucking awesome. Another guy, God rest his soul, MacDonald, was fantastic. He came in, I want to say like 3 times, and all 3 times he was exhausted from the road because, doing comedy tours, but he was always so kind to everybody. I think I got a picture of him and I together, and he was just a good dude, like fucking nice. Which I always bring up, be like he was obviously exhausted from the road, but he took time to talk to us in his own way. You could tell that he was wanting to fall back asleep or whatever like that at times, but he would do his thing, and he brought it. He dug deep, and that was so fucking cool. Bob Saget, again, God rest his soul, he was a sweet man. A sweet man. He's a guy that I wish I would have known better. Like, I met him once, and he was just a good dude. Sometimes these guys are great on the air, but behind the scenes, they're pricks. He wasn't. Like, he was just like he remembered my name, and which a lot of times they don't, because I went and got him, brought him to the studio, and then afterwards he's like, hey, Scott, was that pretty good? Would you like that? Still kind of joking around. And I was like, yeah, any chance I could get a picture with you? And I believe my intern was there, and he got a picture as well. And it was just awesome. And I know he had a crude sense of humor, but to sit there and talk to him as just a man to man and just a real person, and you're like, he's a genuinely nice guy. He's funny as shit. But when he passed away, it was a big loss. And like him and Norm were just great people. Jay Mohr's hilarious, extremely talented, great actor / comedian, and great impressionist as well. I know that he heard Joel Klatt do his Harry Carey, and he's like, I do a Harry Carey, but Joel Klatt does it better because he was really good, or Klatt's really good at it. If you ever see Klatt, ask him to do his Harry Carey. Say DeHuff says you do it the best, and he'll be like, "Who's DeHuff? I don't remember him. He's a little person. Don't believe in him." But Jay Mohr was kind of intimidating. I remember the guys were finishing up a segment before Jay would go into the studio, and it's Jay sitting behind me. I'm running the board. My intern's sitting next to me, and Jay's just shooting a shit with me. But the problem is, Jay's a really smart guy, very sharp, quick-witted. I'm not that way at all. Everything I said, I'm not. And he's sitting behind me throwing jokes at me, and I didn't know what to say. Then he starts going off on some tangent about the Rockies suck because they're purple, because they have purple in their logo. And I'm like, He's like, what kind of crappy organization has purple for their logo? And he's just trying to be funny, whatever. And I didn't know what to say. I'm like, yeah, right. Oh, like that still bugs me that I couldn't like have an actual conversation with him because he was just it's intimidating. But that being said, he was a good dude. Got a picture with him, and I was able to. We kind of goofed around about it, like my hands on his chest or something like that. It was funny. Not comedian, but a good dude. Shane Carwin. He's a former UFC champion, and he lives in Greeley, Colorado. He's an engineer. I don't know if he still does, but he used to work for the city of Greeley in the water department when he would also, I think it was the water department, when he was also a UFC fighter. Brilliant man. That's why his nickname was the engineer. I believe it was. Huge dude. Like, huge fucking fist. There's a picture of him and I, and his fist looks bigger than my head, and it probably was. But he was a good dude. We used to get him in studio all the time. And what was funny is at one point we had somewhat of a relationship, and I don't know if he was mistaking me for Hastings or what, but we both had the same first name, Scott. But Shane would text me at say like 11 o'clock at night and be like, "What are you doing, bitch?" or just text me, say, "Bitch." I was like, that's awesome. He's a good dude. Michael Irving, former Dallas Cowboy, weird motherfucker, good guy. He was using our studio once, and we're in the control room, and he's just he was like hanging out in there for some reason, and he was talking to his cell phone, like talking to it like it was a person, like it was a woman that he couldn't wait to take back to the hotel room type of thing. It's fucking bizarre. Good dude though. Captain Phil, do you guys remember Deadliest Catch? Captain Phil, who sadly passed away. I got to drink beer with him in studio. He had his own beer, and I don't remember what it was, but he signed the beer bottle. I actually lost that. Like when I quit, I didn't take that. And it's like, what am I going to do? Bring that here? Whatever. But he was a good dude. Just a real classy man as far as he just wanted to hang out and drink beer. I believe Hastings and I had a beer with him. It was really, really fucking cool. Ron Pearlman, the actor, Sons of Anarchy and Hellboy. Great man. Met him in New Orleans when I was covering my first Super Bowl. And I think it was New Orleans. And he sat down with the guys, and like he was just somebody that was tired at the time of the media members just stroking him off and not talking to him like he's a real fucking person. And it was funny because I was the opposite, where I was just like, I just want to talk to you like a real person. I don't want to fucking, be like, so how was it working with this and, doing that? Was the costume and the makeup itchy? I don't want to talk about that. And like, it was funny because he and I were just like kind of just shooting the shit. And during the interview with Mike Evans, and I think it was Joel Klatt, he kept looking over at me like when they would ask a question, it was like very cliche. And he would just be like, really, these guys? The fuck? man, can you help me? Type of thing. And I'm like, dude, sorry. Then afterwards, like, he was just like kind of shooting the shit with me a little bit and, asking about food or whatnot. Then he came back like, say, 20 minutes later ish, I think. And he's just like, hey, buddy, do you know where I really need to take a shit? Or where's the shit or something like that. And Mike Evans chimed in. He's like, oh, go back to that one. That's right there. You can see it from here. And I go, whoa, Ron, no. Don't go to that one. Everybody uses that one. It's disgusting. I was like, you need to go over here. Nobody knows about it, but you go back here, turn the corner right there, and there's a bathroom. It's going to be a lot more clean, and there's going to be less people there. And he's like, thanks, man. And he came back, and he's just like, thanks, dude. It's so funny. We bonded over a toilet. Also in New Orleans, Guy Fieri, the diners, drive-ins, and dives guy, the Food Network guy. He was a good dude. Kept calling me Denver because he was meeting so many fucking people. And he's just like, I'm just going to call you Denver because it's easier. Okay. It's going to associate you with the city. And that's going to be it. I'm like, that's fine. Fine. Good dude. I met Tim McGraw. Tim McGraw was awesome. Small little fella, small guy, but he was super nice. Super fucking nice. I almost ran over a Clint Black one, but he was like, I was telling somebody this on Thanksgiving. And I said, like, I almost ran over Clint Black, and it was back when I was a lot more spry, and I was running down the hallway at the old radio station because our printer was damaged, and he was going from KYGO into our studio to do an interview, and I didn't know he was coming down the hallway, but our printer was broken, and I had to go down to the sales pit to get a bio so I could give to the guys, and I cut the corner, and I cut it thinking that nobody was going to be there. And I'm doing like, I'm like fucking Barry Sanders. I'm like, I'm cutting that corner like a motherfucker. And my shoulder gets like maybe 6 inches away from his head. And he's like, oh, friend, you almost knocked me over. I was like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry, Clint Black. He's all, that's okay, friend. You good. You're good. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like, he was a good dude. I met Ice Cube once, and he was really nice, but I was about to get my picture taken with him, and this chick comes over, and she's like, I want to get a picture with Ice Cube. And his handler's like, okay, that's the last one. I'm like, you fucking bitch. If I had nice titties, I would have got my, picture taken with Ice Cube. It would have been great. Probably the best guy that I ever interacted with that was a celebrity, and I'll forever remember this, is Craig Robinson from Hot Tub Time Machine, and he's been in a million other movies. He's just a good dude, and he's very talented, great singer, performer, comedian. He came in studio, and my wife and I had just watched Hot Tub Time Machine, I think 2 at the time, and I told him, I was like, dude, my wife loves your voice. She said you're like, she literally were watching the movie in bed the other night, and she's like, I really like his voice. And he's like, really? That's great. Why don't you call her up right now? So I call my wife. She's at work. And he's all, hey, Brandy. And he just has a smooth voice. And he's just like, your husband, Scott, here is telling me that you're a fan of mine. And she's like, I can only imagine she was bright red on the other end. This is before video chats. So he serenades my wife over the phone. She still remembers that. She thinks it's the coolest fucking thing, and she will forever. Again, like I hold John Lovitz on a pedestal. She puts Craig Robinson on a pedestal. I have Craig Robinson and John Lovitz on a pedestal because they're just amazing people that get it. And I have a picture taken with Craig Robinson where I'm holding up a sign with him that says, Brandy, I wish you were here. Right? I almost met Lady Gaga. I didn't know who the fuck she was. So when they asked me to go in studio for a meet and greet, I'm like, I don't know who the fuck that is. I don't need to meet her. It was right before she blew up. I still remember that. Kevin Hart, I talked to over the phone. He was fucking awesome. And we had to cancel the interview because at the time, they probably won't admit this, but Mike Evans and Scott Hastings didn't know who he was at the time. It was right before Kevin Hart became big, and I felt awful. Because Kevin, I knew who he was because I watched a stand-up comedy. And Kevin calls on the hotline. And I was like, hey, Kevin, I'm sorry. But we're going to have to cancel. Something came up, some breaking news. I apologize, but we're not going to be able to get to you. And he jokingly is like, what? That's fucking bullshit. Do you know who the fuck I am? He's like, no, I'm kidding, man. Hey, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful day. Like, he was super fucking nice. Super nice. Barry Sanders I met. And what was funny is I know everybody else is like actors for the most part. But Barry Sanders, I meet him, and like I grew up, I wanted to play like Barry Sanders. He was like my favorite athlete. Besides John Elway, it was Barry Sanders, right? And I meet Barry. He's about to do an interview with our guys, and I was like, "Hey Barry, huge fan, grew up watching you. I growing up, I wanted to play just like you." And he gets this disgusted look on his face. And Barry Sanders looks at me and he goes, "But you're fucking white. You ain't black." I'm like, yeah, never meet your heroes. It was awesome. I was like, who cares? But I still love Barry Sanders. Still great. Still my favorite running back of all time. Anyway, so there you go, Greg. I know I kind of went on a huge tangent about these random people that I've interacted with, but there's probably more. Like I remember meeting who was it? Now we're buddies. Well, speaking of that, like, Chad Brown, Mike Pritchard. It's funny because like Pritchard and I like we'll text each other and just like we don't talk football. We just talk like he's like really into Godzilla and stuff like that. And we just talk about random shit. I love that. Like Chad Brown, grew up watching him at CU as well. And like he's, a snake. So I ask him about snakes and reptiles and stuff like that. It's really neat. Schlereth, obviously working with him for so long. And all these other miscellaneous guys. It's funny because I used to have a binder with my favorite football players, and there was a Colorado type themed section in there. Chad Brown was in there, Mike Pritchard was in there. Who else was in there? I want to say Schlereth was, but I could be wrong on that. And Scott Hastings, I love the way Scott Hastings played. And then sure shit, I ended up working with all these guys, so it was really fucking surreal when I actually got to sit down and actually work with these guys. And the fact that I can text them and interact with them on a, just a normal level is still kind of blows my mind. And it still kind of blows my brother's mind at times where he's like, dude, Alfred, obviously fucking Alfred Williams. He was part of that collection. And it's so fucking bizarre that I end up working with those guys and I can chit chat with them. And like Alfred, like I told you before, is planning on coming on this show. We'll probably, I'll make fun of the fact that he got, fired or whatever, but then we'll have some fun. Okay. I'll try to do it in person. So it just makes it a little bit more conversational and he's more relaxed. But anyway, thank you guys so much, Greg. Thanks for chiming in. If you want to be like Greg and interact with the show, hit me up on my socials at DeHuff Podcast. Mike Evans was supposed to send me a video saying how grateful he was that he got the top episode for DeHuff Uncensored. I haven't got that. When I get that, I will play it. Unless he's too chicken shit. Come on. I made you, Mike Evans. I made you. You motherfucker. I'm kidding. I love Mike. Very proud of his success. He's a fucking phenomenal talent. Anyway, thank you guys all for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe, share it with your friends. Big thanks to Game Time PDR and, of course, Bet Online. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful day. Let's continue to move forward. I'll talk to you next time.